What is your job on a daily basis? That's kind of what we go through here today. What is your job? What is your intention when you come in to the office or when you start your day off as a realtor? Now, granted, a full-time realtor, somebody that's thinking about this on a more regular perspective, my answer to this today, and we go through it in detail, is probably you are a data analysis, okay? Or analyst, data analyst, okay? And some may say that, AI is going to take that over or whatever it is, but not in the way that I'm talking about now. I think it can perfect the cleanliness of it, but ultimately, how do you gather more of it? I think that's our real focus moving forward as an industry. Hopefully this helps. Welcome to Rethink Real Estate. My name is Ben Brady, and this is a real estate podcast aimed to deliver sales strategies, marketing tips, and business insights from industry experts and myself to build a listing-focused business for the future. Let's get into it. Well, folks, I don't want to be a broken record on this point, and I've made it several times on this podcast, so forgive me. But the point that I really want to make today is names, phone numbers, email addresses, and understanding who are the local people within your marketplace. That is the new commodity in real estate. Now, I think that this comes from the training that I do on a regular basis, but then also the conversations I have on a regular basis with people, and a little disheartened where they are from a year-to-date perspective based on their volume. And what we're doing is we're breaking down where a great deal of their business has come from in the past years and where a great deal of their business can come from in the future. And all of that stems to database. It's one of those things that I think is something that we have to constantly be thinking and measuring now. Usually we're measuring the number of transactions that we're doing or the number of deals that we need to do. And I really want to take a shift away from that, possibly in the new planning that we're doing coming into 2026. I'd like to probably make the biggest metric that we focus on, instead of volume of transactions and GCI and all of those commission elements, probably the one thing that we owe to the real estate community is to get them to think about how many people are actually in their database at the different classifications. Now, again, I can be accused of going on and on about this, but it's just one of the things that if I was to start real estate tomorrow, my primary focus would be on people's information. Now, part of that is just thinking about things a little bit differently. For example, one of my biggest frustrations is listing agents not doing their own open houses. I really do believe that is one of the most missed elements of people coming in from the general public, where you can gain people's information. Now, with over 80% of buyers coming to open houses without their realtor there, I believe that is really one of the fundamental ways in order to actually get people's names and numbers. Now, by doing so goes against a little bit of the things that we believe in. By doing so, on any listing that I would ever take, I would make sure that private showings were not allowed for the first couple of weeks, and it was only through open houses that people could actually see the property. Primarily, that would be because I wanted everybody to come through the open houses. And if I did it over the weekends, less realtors would turn up, giving me an opportunity to get people's information. There is another portion of this as well that I would do a little bit differently now. And it's something that we've been telling a lot of our auction clients. Do not have brochures, do not have any information about the property there whatsoever. Let them know at the front door is that, folks, I'm not going to be giving out flyers or information on the property. It's an age where we're in the digital world now, and I'd love to get some information from you so I can send you a text message or an email with all of the information about this property. What's the best contact number for you? What's your name? All of those things. It gives you an opportunity at this point to go, hey, to give you some more information on the property, I'll shoot you over an email or a text message. What's your name? Best phone number and email address, and then I will shoot it over to you. Again, I think that that's really important to actually getting a good understanding within that moment of people's either their interest or their lack of interest. But that being said as well, it's a really great data opportunity for you within your business. We need to think about all of our interactions, making sure that we go through the process of monetizing them to some extent. But the first step is getting their information. Okay, first step is getting their information. It's not then badgering them. It's then understanding whether or not they are looking for a colleague in real estate. They are looking for some type of partnership within real estate. They're looking for somebody to give them some regular information. Asking a question as simple as that, hey, are you guys from out of area or are you local? Simply as that. That is not an intrusive question to ask somebody when they're at your open house or when you're interacting with somebody. Okay, so that then when you know, you know. And keeping information relatively scarce, not having it readily available to people gives you an opportunity again to capture that information. Not doing private showings is an opportunity to capture information at the front door of the property. Don't get me wrong, we're not looking to steal clients. If they're there with their realtor, no problem at all. Even if they say to you, Ben, I have a realtor, no problem. Okay, I still want to get your information just in case something happens where I have to reach out to you directly. I still would be going through your realtor as well. Okay, it just gives you an opportunity that if you're not representing them on this deal, you may represent them on the next. Now, I want to take another quick play to all of this as well. External to open houses, where I do believe it's one of the least friction points of gaining data as possible. Okay, the next part of that is also cold prospecting. So I think it's fair enough to say that over the last number of years, cold prospecting has not been something that you've seen a tremendous inbound interest from agents, because inventory levels have been low for sale by owners, and also expired listings are not something that are very robust in many of the marketplaces. That has changed over the last 12 months. Now, coming into that, obviously cold prospecting is going to pick back up to the extent now as people get more into it and there are more opportunities there. But I think that you need to change the game here a little bit, folks, okay? Is that I think that you need to take an opportunity to see cold prospecting as refining data. So wherever you get your cold prospecting information from, whether it be, Vulcan 7, whether it be RedX, whether it be, I think it's Mojo Dialer, I think it's all of these other products, is that taking it as an opportunity and taking it as an opportunity that when you call somebody and they pick up the phone and you say to them, ring, 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 hey, am I speaking with Ben? Yes, you were speaking to Ben. Ben, just confirming that you're the owner of 123 Smith Street. Yes, I am. You're the 100th call I've had today. And they get upset with you. The reality is that I think the thing that I would take as the positive, and I think the thing you've got to do and take that win, is that Ben Brady at and email address is an accurate piece of information. I would go as far as to say that even if they tell you to buzz off, even if they tell you that they not interested in selling, even if they get angry with you, the reality is that you are now qualifying that is somebody that lives locally in that property or is the owner of that property. That is the point of that phone call. Don't think about it. The point of that phone call is getting an appointment, getting a listing, trying to get them to do something with you. Think about it as that this is an opportunity for you to actually put a great deal of D leads into your database. And D leads, for those that need a refresher, is just the pile of data of people that you know that are local, that are owners of real estate or looking for real estate. It's the same thing that happens when you meet somebody at an open house and it's John Smith. I'm just a neighbor, or I'm not looking to make any purchases just for the time being. I'm curious about real estate. John Smith goes into the database pool of a D lead, okay, and we put him on some form of a drip. We put him on a reach out program of every 6 months to, hey, John, this is Ben Brady with Harcourts Real Estate. I was reaching out because I met you at an open house about 6 months ago. I just wanted to check in on your real estate needs and just see if you ended up purchasing something. It's just somebody on the perspective of that you can check in and prospect with and building your business's database. And that's what it comes down to. The amount of business that you can do is a pure reflection on the volume of data that you have to prospect with. And this is something that has become very clear to us within our Harcourts auction business that Chris and I will talk about on episodes, is that we've just expanded the volume of data that we have within marketplaces of agents that have had listings on the market for over a period of time. We were only prospecting about 15,000 opportunities at a time. That has just increased to 60. And our business has gone up extraordinary. Now, you might be sitting on the other end of this podcast going, no shit, Ben. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But I say it back to you now. No shit, Mr. Agent or Mrs. Agent. Do more and collect more people's information and check in with them a little bit more, and intrinsically you will do more deals. I think that's the thing that we all need to stay focused on. Not how many deals are we doing, how much GCI am I doing, how much is in our pipeline, more how big is my opportunity database to prospect. Hopefully that makes some sense. Hopefully that gives you something to work towards. So about 75% of our audience hasn't liked, followed, or subscribed to our podcast. It would mean the world to us, and it would help this podcast more than you know to expand our reach if you were to like, follow, or subscribe on any of the platforms that you're watching or listening on. Thanks again.